Hello everyone, my name is Bonnie and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing an unhaul. So it is currently mid-January when I'm filming this, so you know, beginning of the year still, so I thought it'd be a good idea to take a look at my shelves and kind of reassess things of what I'm interested in, what I'm not, what I think I'll reread, or if there's anything that I'm just like, why do I even still own these? I have quite a few here and I will be taking these to my local used bookstore because they do like a buyback system kind of thing, so you can bring your books and if they find them of use, they'll give you some money in return, and so you can either use it as store credit or you can get cash. So of course I always do store credit because I want more books, but yeah, so I'm hoping I can give these to them, and if there's any that they turn down, I plan to donate them. So everything will be finding a new home and I will have them off my shoulders, off my plate, and potentially more room on my shelves. So since there's quite a few of them, I have broken them down into different categories. So the first category I will be going through are ones that I either now have or plan to get, different editions of them. The first book that I will be unhauling is Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. This is just the little paperback edition, and the only reason that I'm unhauling this is because I recently got my hands on the hardcover copy, so now all of my Nevermore books match in their nice hardcovers, and I'm, you know, planning to just keep getting the series in the hardcover format, so I no longer have a reason to hold on to this. So although I love Nevermore, this is just gotta go. The next four are all Cassandra Clare books. This is City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, and Clockwork Angel. All of these I have found the hardcover editions of, so they are all with my Cassandra Clare books, and although it is very tempting to hold on to the paperback versions because these are the versions I initially read this story in, and it has a lot of nostalgia for me from my middle school, early high school days. They're just, you know, they're big. They're taking up a big chunk of room that's unnecessary because I have the hardcovers. So again, a series that I really enjoy, have a lot of nostalgia for, but I just don't need these anymore. The next one is Skeleton Creek by Patrick Carman. I recently had found the hardcover edition of this at the used bookstore I'm planning to try and sell these at. So I have the entire series of it all in hardcover, which are really nice because they literally look like hardbound journals and everything. Although like this does have like the little notebook stuff, it's just not the same. The hardbacks all have like little skulls doodled on it. It's very, you know, emo back in the day, like that phase. That's when I read these and it just hit, you know. So this is a series I super loved in elementary school, and although I totally love them for nostalgia reasons, this shrimpy little paperback is now irrelevant to me. The next two I have The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon and The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon. If you have seen my recent hauls, then you'll know I have the lovely hardbacks of both of these now, so they are in a matching set. So once again, these are kind of irrelevant, although this one I do have nostalgia for because I actually read it in this format back in the day, and it is like nicely floppy, but I don't need it taking up room. And then the mime order, I never read this one, and it's a very, oh, well, when I do that, it feels more floppy, but like holding it and actually trying to read it, it feels rather stiff. So like, I never picked this copy up to actually read, and I now have the lovely hardback, so both of these will be finding a new home. The final books of this category is the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. There's Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Oh, that's book 3. Days of Blood of Starlight is book 2 that I have in hardback. I got for like $5 from the grocery store ages ago. And then the third book is Dreams of Gods and Monsters. So I super loved book 1 and book 2 back in the day, and I finally read book 3 I think last summer, I want to say, which book 3 was my least favorite, but I still enjoy this series, and it recently got like new cover designs, so I'm hoping to at some point get a nice book set of them to have, since they will then all match rather than me randomly having only the second book in hardcover. But yeah, so I don't know when I'll get around to getting the new set, but I don't feel the need to have these on my shelves at this time. Okay, next category are ones that I was looking at and I'm like, I don't want to own these anymore. Like, I either didn't enjoy them that much, or like I just have negative feelings like when I look at them, when I think about my experience with them, that sort of thing. So of course this is if there's a book that you love, this isn't an attack on you. This is just I didn't love it, so I'm passing it on, and hopefully someone else can find enjoyment from it. So the first book I have is The Demon King by Cinda Williams Chima. I think I gave this like max 3 stars. It was okay. I was expecting more, and if I'm remembering correctly, I was just not satisfied by the ending of this or how things played out. But this is one that I feel like if I am ever interested in the sequels, I can easily find them at my library, either via audiobook or physical. So I just don't feel the need to hold on to it for my own collection. The next one I have is Beautiful Boss by Katrina Lauren. That's not right. Christina Lauren. This is like a little spin-off story. It's super tiny, from their like romance series. So this is like just like continuation spin-off story of I think it was Beautiful Player. It's like the couple in that. Other things happen in here. But this one just made me mad. Like, I remember the guy seemed like a total jerk in this one, and like, I don't know, he wasn't being very understanding about the main character's job and everything. I was just like, this is not like extra cute times I thought it would be. So I'm like, I don't want this. I'm never gonna reread this. The next one is also a romance, and that is The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. I had heard good things, so I got it. And then I just really did not like this at all. Just the main 2 characters, they were not communicating. Also, like, just the decisions that were made felt kind of like the main character was cheating on like their partner that they had like previous to the start of it. Like it felt like they were cheating on that person with the new love interest, but like there was no communication. And then there was also like weird shit happening with like side characters that was supposed to get us emotional, but I'm like, what is going on? What's going on? So this was not the serve I thought it would be. so I don't want it with my other great romance books. The next one I have is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, which I did not like this book. And I read this like several summers ago and I did not like it, but I held on to it because I really liked this Barnes & Noble edition because it has like nice little end pages and that kind of stuff. But I just did not enjoy this. I did not understand the hype. The main character made me so frustrated, the way that she would just like give up on things. I'm like, you are presented great opportunities and you're just giving up? I'm like, I couldn't get it. I didn't get it. Made me so mad. Made me so mad. So it's finally enough is enough. I will not have this in my possession no longer. Very unfortunate, because this edition is very nice. It even has like one of those little ribbon bookmark things. It's like a cute little turquoise color, but no. She's gonna be gone and we'll have room for other beautiful books that I love. So goodbye. The next one I have, I feel like isn't that surprising. I feel like it's really big on being a hit or miss, so it's probably on a lot of people's unhauls for those of us out there who didn't get the hype. But that is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I know some people love this, and those of you that do, I'm glad. I'm glad there's people out there for this book. I'm just not one of those people. I did not enjoy this. And I know the main characters aren't likable, and some people could argue like that's the point. But I just didn't enjoy any of this. I was just glad I had access to the audiobook so I could speed up the speed on it, because I'm like, I want this over. I want this over, but I need to I also feel like I needed to finish it because everyone's read Gone Girl. And I was like, maybe that end will make me like it. No. It just ain't it for me. So we're moving on. The next one, it's lightening the mood a little bit, and that is Reverie by Ryan LaSala. This is one that like I enjoyed at the time. It was 3 stars. Nothing particularly memorable, but I enjoyed like the LGBT rep and like the little bits of magic that it has in it. If I remember correctly, it was more of like an urban fantasy, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, nothing like super memorable, and like, I don't know, I was looking at it on my LGBT shelf and I was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna reread that one. And if I ever feel the need, I can probably find the audiobook at my library and listen to it that way. But yeah, I don't need it taking up my shelf. And you know, hopefully someone, whoever picks this up after me, like absolutely loves it. You never know. The next one, I have very few memories of what happens in this book or what this book is about, but that's The Girl in 6E by A.R. Tor. If I'm remembering correctly, this is like a mystery thriller about like a camera girl who like has murderous longings, like she wants to kill people, but she knows that, so she like only stays in her apartment. But then there's like a murder happens or something, and I think she tries to solve it, or I don't know. But I think it was like weird, or just wasn't explained well enough for me, or just, I don't know, maybe the vibe just didn't fit me. It's hard to remember. I read this a couple of years ago, but clearly it has left my mind. The next 3 I have are all Ember in the Ashes books that I don't need paper copies of. What is going on today? I don't need these paperbacks of. So I absolutely loved An Ember in the Ashes back in the day when it was believed to be a standalone. I just aged that reading experience real fast. So I loved it so much, and I loved the sequel, that, you know, I'm just like, you know what? I finally found my book series that I want multiple editions of. So I started my collection. So I got the paperback when it went to paperback with a cover change. Then when I was away at college, I was like, I want the stories with me again. And they did a cover change. So I then got An Ember and Ashes and Torch Against the Night. In these great covers. I love their covers. But The Reaper and the Gates really ruined it for me. It's no longer... I thought it was going to be my favorite series ever, but it's a no. So I still have all the hardbacks, and I'm planning to keep all those, and at some point I will read the concluding book, but I just don't have the same love and passion that I had. So I don't feel like I need all of these editions when I have the hardcovers. The hardcovers are enough. They're enough now. I'm very sad about it, but I'm like, you know, maybe someone will pick up these copies and they'll fall in love with the series. And I hope they love the third book more than I did. The next one I have is The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling. Honestly, I didn't even realize I still owned this book, but I got it super cheap back many a year ago. And I have no interest in reading any other of J.K. Rowling's works. I don't agree with her views, so I don't want to read any new content from her or anything like that. I'm parting ways, so this one needs to go. The next one I have is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. This series is very like hit or miss. I liked this book back in the day, and then book 2 was meh. The novella was meh. I really loved Blood Witch, and then I haven't read the newest installment, but I don't want this anymore. I don't feel a need to own the books. I've been listening to them through my library, so I just don't see myself ever continuing collecting the series, so this has taken up space, and I'm never gonna, and I don't plan on reading the physical copies of these books ever at this time anyway. So yeah, once again, it's just moving on to a new home. And now we've reached our final section of things that are old YA books that I honestly didn't realize I still owned. God, that makes me sound so bad. So, you know, some of these might be throwbacks for you, so enjoy. I honestly thought I had like sold to the used bookstore like years ago, but I guess not. But that's Kissed by an Angel by, where's the author name? Elizabeth Chandler. This is the bind-up of the 3 books, Kissed by an Angel, The Power of Love, and Soulmates. I don't remember anything about this story other than like the main character falls in love and then her boyfriend dies, but then he comes back as an angel. So he's like in her life, but not like directly in her life, and I don't know. I just remember this was like kind of a big deal when like everyone was like, I only read paranormal romance. This is the only book we sell is paranormal romance. So I loved this back in the day. I was like, what, 10? 12? Very young. And I don't know how I still own this. But yeah, I'm never gonna reread this. Still just surprised I still have it. The next one is Faded by Alison Noel. I never read this book. I think it was gifted to me back in the day because I liked Alison Noel's Immortals books, which, like, wow, was that a big part of my childhood. But I was gifted this and I've never read it, and I don't think I ever will pick it up to read. Also, I feel like kind of like I don't feel comfortable with this book. I feel like this is supposed to be like an indigenous story, but I don't think it's like true rep. I don't think it's like I think it's a white lady that wrote it, so like I feel weird about that. So I don't want this, and I'm not gonna read it. So it's leaving my home. The next one is another big throwback, and that is If I Stay by Gail Forman. This is the movie tie-in cover with Chloe Grace Moretz, which that was another era of YA back in the day when she was starring in like every YA adaptation. But yeah, I mean, I loved this book back in the day when I read it, but like I don't know if it would hold up now, but I also like don't feel the need to reread it to find out, so we're passing it along. Another one is Paper Towns by John Green. Again, I did not realize I owned this still, but yeah, this was like my least favorite John Green other than Abundance of Catherines. That one was a flop, but yeah, so I don't want this. Hopefully I'll get money for it. The next one I have is The 100 by Cass Morgan. Even back in the day when I read this, I was not that impressed, and I really just kept holding on to it because it was the TV show cover of the CW cast, which I really loved the show back in the day. But I'm like, bro, if I didn't like this book, why am I holding on to it? So we're not. And then the final two I have is Darkest Minds and Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken. I loved Darkest Minds back in the day, and then I never got to Never Fade. I literally picked it up so many times back in the day and couldn't get into it, and I'm like, if I couldn't get into it back when I loved Darkest Minds, I'm not gonna reach for it now. So we're passing it on. Okay, so that'll wrap up all of the books I'm planning to unhaul. Boy, was there a lot, but I'm feeling really good about passing these on. Hopefully they'll find a happy new home, and I'll have more room on my shelf, so wahoo! But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I hope to see you here for the next one. Bye!